Ligue 1.
Where PSG plays.
PSG plays.
Did not get the win, though.
Did not get the win, but the win was secondary tonight because they actually got the draw.
Yeah.
In real life, that's a draw. You know, we're heading to the second leg at the Parc des Princes next time. You know,
Kerry Wakeman Soccer Park.
Toads. The Bishop Stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where we're hosting the European final next year, Bishop Stadium. Folks, we are coming to you from the media room here at Bank of America Stadium.
As we did last year.
As we did last year, where just a few minutes ago, the seat Ed Green's sitting in was occupied by the special one, Jose Mourinho.
Yeah. He wasn't so special when I got through with him.
Oh, no. Ed took him down a notch, but then built him back up just in time to remind everyone that he is the greatest coach on planet Earth, not named B.W. Holt, but anyway.
Or Jeff Craddock.
Oh, God, no, Jeff Craddock. What a week it's going to be. Folks, I don't know if by now you've seen our exclusive, ultra-exclusive interview with the great Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
We got him, man.
We got him.
You got it.
We came for one interview, folks, and all night we were in the free zone. We were shut down after shutdown after shutdown.
Thanks, British press.
Thanks, British press, you jerks. I forgot this.
If any of you would like to come on the podcast, we're more than happy to have you.
Yes, we'll say literally anyone.
Do not talk about Angel Di Maria.
No, God,
please don't.
God, no. But we came in. We had 2 interviews. If we could get one of the 2, we would be thrilled. Either Lady Physio from Chelsea.
Yes. The bigger one.
The bigger Lady Physio. Or the great demigod, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Well, Lady Physio was way too busy to talk to us. But Zlatan Ibrahimovic,
what a man,
did take just a moment to answer our question. Had a good time with us.
Recoiled in horror at one moment.
Recoiled in horror at one moment as I screamed at him from about 2 feet away. Zlatan! Zlatan! It's like, whoa. Chill, champ. Chill.
Oh, man.
But it was all good, folks. We got our one interview, which means our show, great success in a life of Kazakhstan.
It's amazing.
It's a great one, folks.
It was a good time here.
We've had another good time. 2 straight years of coming to this event, and we've had a good time. We'll have a better time when the Uber gets here because I'm not walking back. But we've had another great time out here. Getting a chance for us, the soccer fans who... Sorry, we can't just hop a plane and head to England every weekend or head anywhere to Europe. It'd be great if we could. But for the last 2 years, Ed and I have seen 2 of the all-time legendary European teams in AC Milan and Liverpool. And this year, just 2 of the current top teams in the world. Both teams who are going to have a good chance to lift the Champions League trophy. Both are going to be favorites to win their league this year.
Absolutely.
Paris Saint-Germain and, of course, Chelsea. We got to see some of the players, the guys see on Saturday morning. Oh, wow, he's amazing. Diego Costa, who threw his hand up at us, who we are so done with. It's not funny. Yeah. Not like we were ever with him anyway. We stood there. We had a quick heart-to-heart with David Luiz, and we didn't decide to take because, David Luiz.
We got there was a Nazar, there was Thibaut Courtois, there was Loic Remy, there was Willian, there was Oscar. The Brazilian connection was there.
And then Thiago Silva. There was
that was part of the
Edison Cavani, who we had the chance to talk to. We're like, Zlatan's coming.
We're fine.
We're cool, man.
We shoved him out of the way.
We were like, hey, you go over here and talk to the Spanish people. Yeah. And of course, we spoke with the magisterial
Zlatan
Ibrahimovic.
I really wished you had asked him about the World Cup draw.
But Ed, I thought my question was better about being a demigod to American.
That's true. He likes talking about his demigod status.
Exactly. I mean, he likes
talking about Zlatan.
It's like talking to a woman. You ask them questions about themselves. That's how you do it, kids at home. You ask the ladies about themselves.
I'm sure your wife loves that.
Well, she likes to talk, so there it goes. So, Ed, I guess, is this going to be the wrap-up of Season 3 of the All New Sports Show?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to wrap up Season 3.
We are literally getting evicted from the room.
We're about to get evicted out of the room. Folks, we just...
God.
They're throwing stuff at me. Folks, we're going to wrap up Season 3. I don't know when, but Season 4 is right around the corner. Whenever we figure that out, you're going to get Season 4 of the All New Sports Show. Of course, we are the best. We are the best high school sports show in the Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson counties. That comes on 8 o'clock on Sunday nights on local access cable.
It's true.
There's no one even close.
None.
There's no one even close.
There's
we
no
are in
one
a league of our own. But folks, as you see tonight, we like to bring in international flavor.
Oh, it's delicious.
Sometimes an international affair, some might say.
A foreign affair, even.
Even a foreign affair. That's an even better one. Ed, real quick, as we speak of foreign affair, why don't you tell the folks at home a little something about what we like to do in our private time?
Yeah, you can check us out on the All New Sports Show, the podcast, as it's still currently being called. Might be changing the name in a few weeks.
I like that foreign affair. That was really good.
Thank you. But you can, of course, check that out on iTunes, Podbean.com, and NGSCSports.com, as well as a myriad of other places. But check us out. We're on every week. Podcast comes out Thursdays, usually morning, early afternoon. It's about an hour of soccer talk, and then it's an hour of everything else in the world. Of course, we always wrap it up with So Raw, and I have a feeling So Raw is going to be pretty fun this week.
Oh, fun for some.
Yeah.
Not so fun for others.
Bring back Benoit.
Brother.
Hashtag.
And, of course, we get on the Twitters.
Yeah, we get on the Twitter. We are, as a collective, at All News Sports Show. You are?
At Wes Bradshaw 21.
I am at Edward Green. You can find us on Facebook. Our Facebook's just All News Sports Show, just like our Instagram. YouTube, we're the All News Sports Show. Catch us on Gmail, allnewsportshow@gmail.com. Mail your letters and parcels to 1701 Sunset Avenue, Suite 201, Rocky Mount, North Carolina, 27804.
And what's our new way to bring content?
Periscope. Check us out on Periscope. If you're on Twitter, you can then just follow us there on Periscope.
There you go.
We Periscoped a bunch today. If you are an avid viewer of the podcast and you want to hear our thoughts on the top half of last year's standings in the 2014-2015 Premier
2
League.
weeks before the season starts.
Yeah, better late than never. You can check that out. We did that for about 30 minutes. We broke that down, gave our grades for the top 10. I gave Manchester City an F. Not just because they're sponsored by the Emirates.
No, because also PSG is sponsored by the Emirates.
Yeah.
Ed, smell success around here.
Yeah, and gas.
Or maybe that's Jose Mourinho's cologne. Or maybe it's gas.
I thought this seat smelled a little different than the others.
Or maybe it is gas. I'm still feeling a little tired. Whew. All right. Should we wrap up season 3?
Yeah, I think this wraps it up.
We love you, season 3. Tune in sometime in the crazy far future, I'm sure, for season 4 of the All New Sports Show. He's Ed Green. I'm Wes Bradshaw. Good night, America, and good night, Sweden. Thank you so much for that wonderful foreign import. We're not worthy.
We're out, guys.
Fantastic.
That was awesome.
Great job.
Thank you.
Job well done. Job well done.
It was fun being there with you in Charlotte.
End of season 3.
It's good times.
Good times.
Good times.
Good talking
See you
to
for
you.
season 4.
I'll be there, Wes. Hey. Okay, yeah.
Hey, babe.
Jet's fueled. Okay.
Yeah, just a few
We'll
minutes.
be in Paris in 16
I'll be on my
hours.
way home right now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Deal.
I can't wait to see you.
See you at the airport. 15
right.
minutes. Ta-ta.
All right. See you again.
See you in season 4, friends.
See you.
See you in season 4. Steiny, talk to me. What do you mean? Season 4 starts when?
Hello?
What?
Oh,
No. I have plans. I have Russian models on home.
No.
This can't be.
Okay, you say so.
Need to get out of this stuff.
I mean,
Steiny, you're fired. No.
Anyway.
Not really. Okay, love you too. Bye.
all right. We'll do what we got to do. Bye.
Dogs coming on a blitz. A nice pickup. Green gets rid of it and caught on the deflection. Put 6 on the board, Knight fans. That is a touchdown.
Haggerty is running hit and run, but it's right to Carter, who flips the second for one over to first in time for a double play to end the inning.
Hey.
So,
Shockingly. Season 4.
about what I said earlier.
Yeah.
Hi, season 3, all new sports show. Ed Green, Wes Bradshaw.
Season 4?
What season did I say? I said, well, hey, season 3, I guess it's over.
Season 3 is over.
Shoot,
Over
great.
and done.
Season 4 is here, alive and well, and
Suboptimal as ever.
Somewhat short notice, but okay. And luckily, in that short notice, we were able to get tonight's guest and co-host,
Jimmy Lewis.
Jimmy Lewis, Wilson Times, sports writer, just happened to be kind of hanging around.
Just pull them on.
We have a lot of hanger-ons here at the All New Sports Show. You know, a lot of famous people just want to be a little more famous by hanging out with us. So Jimmy Lewis was here, and he is ready to rock and roll. And luckily for him, hey, he has a whole Wilson County preview for you. And somewhere along the way, we were able to do interviews. So we're going to bring that to you now. Those Wilson County preview of the All New Sports Show. Season 4, Episode 1. We're off of summer vacation now.
Yes.
Apparently. So our agents tell us. Joffrey the Raven back for another season. Joffrey, nice to see you, our little friend.
Lovely addition to our show.
Lovely addition. He is he's the brains behind the operation for sure. Folks, he's at Green on West Bradshaw. Down at the bottom of the screen, you will see ways to get in touch with us. And apparently the end of Season 3. We were telling you how to get in touch with us as well.
Yeah, we did that.
So
you'll see it on the bottom of the screen.
That's right.
And of course, we'd like to thank Roger G. Taylor and Associates for sponsoring the show tonight.
And of course, if you can't tell, this is live.
It's very live.
You can tweet us. You can send us your emails right now during the show. No telephone tonight, folks. Yep. I don't like 20th century technology. We only go big here on the All New Sports Show, as you can see. Yep. Anyway, folks, we're going to jump off tonight. We're going to dive right into it, folks. Wilson County preview. 3 teams out of Wilson County. Southwest Edgecombe going to be our 4th team tonight, so definitely stay tuned for that one. We're going to start in the Big East Conference with the defending Big East co-champions.
Yes, co-champions.
The Golden Demons of Fike High School, coached by Tom Nelson. Let's go right to the expert himself, Jimmy Lewis. Jimmy, you have seen the Fike Golden Demons in practice already this season.
I have.
This is a good football team coming back.
It is a good football team coming back. As you said, shared the Big East regular season championship with Southern Nash. They have the trigger man coming back, and senior DJ Daniels, a James Madison commit here recently. In the backfield, they'll have A.J. Hines coming back. They're going to feel the loss of Anthony Evans, who was a do-it-all player. He could run the ball, catch the ball, do things in space. He's getting ready to play at Chowan University, where they'll convert him to the slot receiver position.
They got a steal.
They did.
They got a steal.
They absolutely did. And LeVar Spate will most likely be the next man up. The biggest concern for Fike is going to be the number of defensive starters they have to replace.
And of course, that was a defense that led this team for stretches of last season, but really what we think about mostly is the offense. So tell us about that offense that's coming back to lead the way.
Yeah, Tom Nelson will bring back his up-tempo shotgun spread offense, and the trigger man again in all this being DJ Daniels. Strong running game from these guys. When the downhill running game is going, it's usually very tough to stop. Last season, Anthony Evans was the speed guy, and A.J. Hines was more the power back. They'll have to do things a little bit differently this year. Hines will still be there to provide the power burst, but more than likely, LeVar Spate will be the guy to step in and assume that number 2 role. So the running game will still be there. We expect it to be strong. I mean, DJ has a cannon for an arm. I mean, he hovered around the 50% completion percentage rate last year. But definitely a lot of offensive weapons still in place for Tom Nelson and the Golden Demons.
And defensively, you know, that's one place Tom Nelson is going to talk to us a little bit about later. That's where he has to make adjustments. Garner, Bo Sharp, Larry Tabron, 2 big-time players for him, as well as other guys. That's where they're going to have their question marks going into the season.
Absolutely, and some other guys that they lost, Ian West among them, Reed Harris, 2 other key leaders. So a lot of seniors were lost off that team. I think the talent is there, ready to step in. It's just a matter of getting those new faces acclimated to high school football and seeing those new names rise to the forefront.
And, you know, Tom Nelson, we can't really say enough about the job he's done at Fike. You know, the season before he gets there, they go 2-8. They've gone 4 straight years without a winning record in the program, and back-to-back years he has them 11-2, tying for the conference championship, and a few deep playoff runs as well. Talk about just his role and what he's done for this program.
Anywhere Tom Nelson has been his head coaching career, he's built programs. When he was at Bedingfield for that short time, he turned them into winner, posted a winning record there. He goes to North Johnston, posts a winning record there. If you know anything about North Johnston, sometimes it can be tough to put a consistent winner there, but Tom did that in his time there. then Fike came calling. He made the move, and I think Tom is very happy at Fike. He's definitely put his stamp on it after a pair of program building years, those 2 sub-500 seasons. Year 3, the light switch came on behind that offense that really began to take shape and give Big East defenses a lot of fits. And as you said, the consecutive 11-2 records. The big thing for Fike this year, and Tom Nelson has said this, is getting to the 3rd round of the playoffs. For as much success as they've had under Coach Nelson, including the Big East championship last year, they want to play on Thanksgiving week, and that's an honor they have yet to experience.
And I think so far it's just been more, not them so much, just they've had horrible playoff draws.
Yeah.
Of course, last year, they are the co-champions of the conference, but I believe they ended up drawing as the 2nd team coming out of the conference, so they ended up being, I think, a 6th seed or something like that.
Ended up playing Hunt in round 1, and then I believe they got Northern Guilford in round 2. The bane of Wilson County.
Absolutely.
If it was Western Alamance to Rocky Mount for all those years, it is Northern Guilford to. Northern Guilford's just taking an entire county and putting them on notice, unfortunately. And we'll talk about that a little later with Stevie Hennett. But for Fike, if Fike can go in, win the conference outright this year, get a nice high seed, at least at that point you're not seeing Northern Guilford until at least the 3rd round. I think this is definitely a team for Tom Nelson that is going to be able to hopefully fulfill that goal of getting to the 3rd round and hopefully beyond. I think it is a very talented team. I think it sounds like even the guys that he's bringing up from the JV, it was a very good JV program over the last few seasons. So if those guys can go in, it's a solid non-conference schedule. I don't think it is a killer non-conference schedule.
By no means.
2 on the road, Bunn, East Wake, Kinston, Bedingfield at home, South Granville away, Corinth Holders at home.
Corinth Holders a little better, but they should be able to beat them as well.
I believe that is a schedule where Fike is either coming out of there. I don't see them with more than 1 loss coming out of that non-conference schedule.
I don't either, and yet Kinston, you never know what they'll have coming out. Right. I mean, Kinston has given Fike some runs in the past, but Fike has come out on top. But as you said, it is a non-conference schedule that the Golden Demons should be able to navigate.
And with them opening up with Southern Nash in Big East play right out of that open date, that could be the one that decides it all again.
That's right. That's going to be a big one. We're going to talk about this and more as we have Fike head coach Tom Nelson. We had the chance to go see him at an undisclosed time over the last few weeks. And we're going to send you out to Fike High School right now for our sit-down interview with head coach Tom Nelson. So welcome you here into the right outside the gymnasium here at Fike High School as our Wilson County coaching tour continues. We're joined now by Wilson Fike Golden Demon head coach Tom Nelson. Coach, thank you so much for taking some time out to talk to us today.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Coach, we were talking a little off camera. The Big East is a conference where you've got a lot of teams who are ready to play some good football from day one. Season, we're about 3 weeks away at this point from the season kicking off. You guys coming off the back of a great season. You bring back a really good quarterback. You bring back a really good running back. You bring back a lot of good players. Just give us a quick overview of 2015 coming up for the Golden Demons.
Well, we are very excited. Like you said, we have a lot of great players coming back. We're concerned about our defense. We lost 8 or 9 really good seniors that we're going to have to replace. But we feel good about our young kids. Our JVs have only lost 1 game in the last 2 years, and they have worked really hard since January, and they're excited to strap it up.
Coach, we're going to start talking about one of those top players, DJ Daniels. Anyone who can bring back, I believe this will be his 3rd year as a starter. 3-year starting quarterback, a kid who's lit up the league like he has. We talked about him holding his college offers. He does have a college commitment in now, James Madison University. Great school. Place he's going to be able to go and hopefully thrive. A kid like that, you're going to put a lot on his shoulders this year. What are you expecting out of DJ?
Well, his maturation process over the last 3 years has been phenomenal. From a young kid as a sophomore starter, and then maturing and playing better last year, and we're hoping he's going to make that final step. And and lead us to a bunch of wins this year. But he does a lot of decision making for us. He puts us in a lot of right plays, and in our offense, he has to make a lot of great decisions in a hurry. And so hopefully in his third year he's going to be able to excel.
Coach, a guy you will not have this year, Anthony Evans. Got to be one of the best players you've ever coached, without a doubt. Boo Boo, as they call him. Boo Boo has moved on. A.J. Hines is back. It's been a two-headed rushing attack for you for a couple years now. What are we gonna see more out of the backfield with no Anthony Evans, but still a really good runner in A.J. Hines?
Well, first off, we are going to miss Anthony Evans. He's one of the best players I've ever coached, but more than that, he was a great leader. He was our Ray Lewis. He gave much better pregame speeches than I did. So we had to find somebody to take that role as team leader and really take control of the team. But now we're excited. We have several kids that we think that are really capable of running the ball and fitting in our offense. Lavera Spate, who we affectionately call Squeak, played for us last year, and he's going to have an expanded role. We have a young kid coming up from the JVs named Kenny Johnson, who has been outstanding for us on the JVs for 2 years. So we feel really good that we have 3 or 4 guys that can step in and help us offensively running the ball.
Coach, it's been a hot summer. I think we can all admit to that. How have your off-season workouts been going? It's
been really good. We took our team to FCA camp. We had about 50 kids go to FCA camp, and that was really good. And then the times that we have been able to work, we have got a lot of work done. Our summer is really disjointed now with the dead periods that the state makes us take. But I think we've got the most out of our time. I think we've got some work in the weight room done. I think we got some rest. And so, we're ready hopefully for the long haul.
Going to be starting practice on Saturday, or going to go on Monday?
Saturday morning, 8 o'clock.
Ooh, sounds like fun. Coach, we know the Big East Conference we touched on a little bit earlier. It's going to be another fun year in the Big East. A lot of teams have talent, no doubt about it. Your non-conference schedule, kind of run down your non-conference and tell us how you think it's going to get you ready for the conference.
Well, our non-conference has changed a little bit. We're starting out Bunn, who is the same as our endowment game, and then we go to East Wake, who is a really talented team. And then Kinston at home, Bedingfield at home, and then we're going to South Granville, who we've never played, who I know nothing about, but had to find a team to fill our schedule, and so we worked it out with them. And then our last non-conference game is home against Corinth Holders. So our non-conference has really stepped up a little bit. We don't really have a game that we can mark off as a win, and that's going to be good for us. It's going to give us some good tests early. There's going to be some power running teams. There's going to be some spread teams. There's going to give us a good look going into our conference.
Coach, sounds great, and we definitely look forward to seeing you this season on the Friday night football game of the week, and definitely look forward to covering you guys here on the All New Sports Show. Looks Fike head coach Tom Nelson, thank you so much, Coach, and that's going to wrap up our Fike portion of this year's high school football preview. Big thanks, head coach Tom Nelson, taking a few minutes to sit down with us, and that will conclude, as we said.
As you said.
Our preview for Fike is now we head into 3A conference member Hunt High School.
Yes.
Took the trip across Wilson County out off of Lamb Road and sat down with Stevie Hennett, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Always nice to go to the jungle.
Always nice to go to the jungle. Well, one great thing about the jungle is air conditioning. Yes. We go to the one air conditioning room in there.
The jungle has air conditioning.
It's very fun. We walk into a field house. It's stifling hot in the field house. And we find one closed door. We're like, what is this muffled sounds? We knock on the door. All of a sudden, Stevie Hennett opens. Y'all come in quick. Don't let the air out. Like, great. Absolutely. You're right up our alley, Coach. Talking about the Hunt Warriors. Hunt coming off a
6-6 year.
6-6 season.
You want me to tell people about it?
Well, you have the view. I don't. You have the view. 6-6 season, which for Hunt might as well be 0-12.
First time in 5 years they don't get to double-digit wins.
That's right. Such a down season.
Yeah.
Central, thank you. But going into, as you said, this is a Hunt team that last year underwent major changes. They lost some of their best players from the season before. When you see a guy like Dexter Wright off to NC State, that was a big one. Then there's a lot of other guys who the names might not be quite as familiar, but they were huge players, huge contributors to that team. You came in with a lot of question marks, and it really took Hunt a while to find their groove. And then, when they found their groove, they kind of lost it again afterwards. Jimmy, going out of 2014, coming into 2015, what does it look like for Hunt?
Well, even though it was a 6-6 season last year for Hunt, and they had a massive Big East Conference winning streak snapped last year by Rocky Mountain. I believe it was 14 games, and the streak was snapped. I really still don't see much changing off of Lamb Road for Stevie Hennett. Stevie, head football coaches are creatures of habit, but Stevie Hennett, first and foremost, doesn't really like changing a whole lot of stuff, and I really don't see the formula changing for Stevie and the Hunt Warriors going forward this season. I mean, the quarterback Jacob Williamson will be back for his senior season. Then you'll have a pair of running backs and Darius Barnes and Ivan Ampley. Still think Hunt's really going to primarily try to line up and just grind it right at you. It's a signature Hunt football. It's been around, and I really don't see it changing. It's just can they execute? Can they cut the penalties down? Can they protect the football? Those kinds of things can probably turn 6-6 into something a little bit better.
I think one thing, and I don't remember if you mentioned this on camera or not, one thing when you were talking to Coach Hennett, I found very interesting is a lot of people thought maybe the past season they had was going to be the season they had 2 years ago when they ended up still going 11-4 and making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Do you think, Jimmy, that we could see maybe still a bit of a repeat, though? And is he still trying to kind of rebuild a little bit?
I don't know if it's necessarily fair to say to call it a rebuild. Just maybe get some additional talent in there. I mean, Hunt's always going to be a factor in the Big East Conference discussion, no matter what's going on. I mean, the tradition there is just too great. It remains to be seen how they'll bounce back. That's really one of the more interesting stories this season. Now, will Hunt stay in the 6-6, 7-5 range, or will they take a little bump up?
Jacob Williamson, third-year starter back at quarterback. Season ago, he had his detractors.
Yeah.
There's people who were kind of calling for his head, but this is a kid. Let's start off. He's obviously a very intelligent kid. Has a baseball scholarship at Duke University.
It's not bad.
You don't go to Duke being dumb.
No.
Well, I think they take a few every year, but not many. Jake Williams is not one of them, trust me. 3-year starter, so for 2 years, Stevie Hennett must have obviously seen some talent. And then, as we were talking about off camera before, the Rocky Mountain game, it just kind of clicked and went. Yeah, it did.
That was a game he really broke off that long touchdown run and helped put that game away. A little change in his our status update, if you will, for Jacob Williamson. He's no longer headed to Duke. He's going to now be playing at the Naval Academy for baseball.
Well, even better.
Wow.
That's literally there may be 3 or 4 places in America you can upgrade on. So, folks, that actually really nails home my point. Yes. This is a smart kid.
Also, the second person, I believe, in the last 2 or 3 years from Hunt to be going to one of the service academies.
It's good to be a Hunt quarterback, I believe. You usually know that was Jacob as well.
Jacob Page. He's at Army.
Yeah, he's at West Point, so
not bad.
Yeah. It's good to be named Jacob and play quarterback at Hunt, apparently. So that's a good key for your future. We actually asked Coach him. He's still going to Duke, as far as I know. So hopefully Coach Hennett getting updated on that while we watch tonight.
Can't wait to see that interview.
Interesting. Taking a look at the defense, this is something that Hunt has always kind of hung their hat on. They're going to run that I formation. When you want to play power football, you have to have the ability to stop somebody else from scoring. Last year, Hunt, that ability kind of came and went.
Right.
Coach Hennett told us they're going to be a little undersized up front again. They're going to have to rely on their speed. What's that going to do for those Warriors? It's
going to be a time of transition up front. That's one of the things I was going to say. They're really making the transition up front from more of a strength unit to one that's more speed-oriented, and I think that's due to personnel. Some of the losses are going to feel on defense. They'll feel them. I mean, Christian Parker, a big kid in the middle for him, he won't be there. But really the heart and soul of that defense last year was probably Josh Lucas, really a hybrid linebacker, defensive back type who could do a little bit of everything at the linebacker and the defensive back spots. And then Darian Ballard, wide receiver, defensive back, is gone as well. And then Jalen Gilliam. couple of guys we talked about prior to our last season that we thought might make a bigger impact in the passing game. Josh Willingham, who won't be there obviously, but Rashad Shipman. Can they get him involved a little more in the passing game and give Jacob
he's big and he's
deep threat?
He's a great athlete.
He's big, and if you can get the ball in his hands, he can do something with it.
Not bad to have. Folks, you've gotten to hear from Jimmy Lewis. Got him from Edward Green. You got, of course, from myself, Wes Bradshaw. Now let's hear it from the man who makes the calls every Friday night for the Hunt Warriors. As we said, we took a trip out to the jungle. We didn't die. Yeah. Sat down with Stevie Henn in the one air-conditioned room in there. Stayed nice, cool, talked football, and then talked for another 20 minutes after the cameras went off. But now you're going to see what was on the camera, as this is a continuation of our Hunt High School preview here on our High School Preview Show.
So it's an appropriate place to do it, I think.
Sure.
On the high school football previews on the preview show.
Well, we do them both.
I know you do.
We welcome you to the War Room here at Hunt High School, home of the Warriors. Head coach Stevie Hennett joining us here on the All New Sports Show for our Hunt version of our Wilson County High School football preview. Coach Hennett being very generous, inviting us into definitely the coolest room here in the field house. It is a scorcher outside, folks. If you've missed the entire summer and haven't been outside, it's hot in eastern North Carolina. Coach, on our drive up, we saw some of you guys out there doing some conditioning. Of course, this time of the year, that's the part of the game that the fans don't see. It has been a very hot summer. How's your off-season program been going?
It's gone well. Like you say, it has been hot. We try to practice 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, from 9 to 11, and then on Thursday morning for any of those kids that want to come for hour and a half or whatever, Coach Byram and some of the other coaches come in, and if they want to work, we'll stay here as long as they want to.
Coach, as we get ready to come up to the season, you were telling us off camera you're going to be kicking off your practice on Monday. The season not far off. Everybody has questions on their team. We'll start. What's a question mark on your team this year?
Well, right now, up front on the offensive line, we've got some quality to work with. Not a lot of quantity. Not many of them. I'm concerned about that group staying healthy, which is going to be big for us. And if they can stay healthy, I think we'll be fine up there.
Now, Coach, there are also spots on your team where you definitely have proven quality. Jacob Williamson back. This will be his third year as your starter at quarterback. Still the most important position on the field. Great athlete. He's a baseball kid as well, committed to Duke University to play baseball. Last year really took a big step up for your team. Now as a senior, he probably will have even more responsibility this year.
Yeah, and, the rest of the guys look up to him. He's a proven, quarterback. Has worked really hard to get to where he's at. Throws the football really well, and has done a great job in the off season of working on his quickness and he's improved his speed quite a bit. So we're looking forward for good things from him.
And who are some of the guys who he's going to be getting the ball into the hands for this year to do the heavy lifting for the Warriors?
Well, you got 3-year starter at tailback, and Darius Barnes, who is we hope to see him have a good year. We also Jerry Wiley at wide receiver. We've got P.J. Hammonds at flanker. So we're going to count on them guys along with Cam Hill and Tay Davis. He's got some gifted receivers and running backs to get the ball to. We'll just see what happens up front. That's the first place we got to start at.
Typically a strong point for the Hunt Warriors is on the defensive side of the football. We know you lost some good players off last year's defense. What's the 2015 version of the Warriors defense looking like?
I think we're going to be smaller up front on the line. We're going to be quicker, which is something that we tried to do ourselves. Defensive backs they've worked hard and have done a good job in the off season. So I'm optimistic. We're going to be okay on defense. I think we'll be quick. I don't know if we'll be any better or worse than any other defenses that we had, but I think we'll be solid on that side of the ball.
Coach, it seems like all the games that Ed and I do, special teams can go one of two ways. It can be special as in the, wow, these kids are special. Or it can be special like we've seen from Hunt and Fike when it comes to the kicking game. You have had an elite kicking game for a long time now at Hunt. What's the kicking game look like this year?
Our kicking game's solid. Again, we've got a 3-year starter at punter and place kicker, and he kicks off for us, and Anthony Gaetano. We're looking for good things from him.
That'll be great. Coach, going into the season, of course, another typical Big East season coming up where it's going to be a grind. It's going to be a fight every week. New coaching staff over at Nash Central trying to see if they can get the Bulldogs back on kind of back in step with things. What's your non-conference schedule looking like?
Tough. We open up on the 21st against Lumberton. And, then they don't get any better. We got Corinth Holders, Hertford County, and then we trek up to Elizabeth City Northeastern, who always presents problems. And then we'll go to Currituck, and we'll end up with our crosstown rival Beddingfield.
Folks, it looks like it could be an exciting year on tap for the Hunt Warriors. As he said, they kick off the 21st of August. 3 weeks away, folks. Can't beat it. Big time's coming here in Wilson. Coach, thank you so much for your letting us join you here in the War Room. Folks, Hunt head coach Stevie Hennett, that's going to wrap it up for the Hunt portion of this all-new sports show, high school football preview. All right, folks, big thanks to Stevie Hennett. At this point, we are going to take a quick commercial break. Yes. We'll be right back with more of the all-new sports show brought each and every week. Roger G. Taylor and Associates here on WHIG TV.
The new place is perfect, or at least it will be, with a little help from Dex. In the book or at DexKnows.com. Dex can help you get results fast and deliver the best local advice so you can get it done right here, right now.
We should do this more often.
Dex, results for the here and now.
The WHIG TV karaoke show is moving to an all-new night, Tuesdays at 9:30. Catch all your favorite singers from Zaxby's every Tuesday at 9:30 and Saturday at 9:30, only on WHIG TV.
And welcome everyone back here on the all-new sports show, presented each and every week by Roger G. Taylor and Associates. Ed Green, Jimmy Lewis tonight on the show. I am your host, Wes Bradshaw. Folks, we have, thus far we've gone over Wilson Fike. We've gone over Wilson Hunt doing our football previews tonight. Still to come, Beddingfield and Southwest Edgecombe. Folks, it's high school football season, but Ed,
Yeah.
there's another football as well. It's the football we love.
6 days.
6 days to the prim. Folks, you've missed it all summer. It's time. It's back. Your 60 seconds of soccer.
The team who came back from the dead.
Ready.
Explosion. Ed, tell me when to go.
Go ahead.
Folks, since we last came to you, Liverpool finished 6th. Not good enough. So what have we done? We bought an entirely new team. That worked so well last year. So we're going to replace everyone again. 8 guys in so far for Liverpool. Potentially 2 or 3 more on the way. Hopefully those 2 or 3 more we get, if they're the ones that are rumored, they're going to be really good. Folks, my optimism is bursting at the seams, and I'm so full of red pride I just can't help myself. But if you want if you want what I know, you're gonna have to listen to the podcast.
Yep. It's been so long since we've seen you, America. And since that time, we had the Women's World Cup.
Nash Edgecombe, Wilson County, we love you.
We had the Women's World Cup. We had the Gold Cup.
Not so golden.
Not so golden. We had the International Champions Cup. Where we met Zlatan.
The biggest cup of the
93,000 people went to go see LA Galaxy versus Barcelona out in California. The future. is now. Can't wait. Tottenham, Manchester United this Saturday. 7:45 kicks off the entire Premier League.
61,000 made their way to Charlotte to see Chelsea play.
And why do you bring that up, Wes?
Because only 68,000 made it out to see Liverpool last year.
Yep.
That's right.
You just love bringing that up.
I'll take that back. All right, folks, who's ready to get back to American football? Anyone at this table? Jimmy, fine.
All right.
Since you're the guest, we'll do what you want to do. Folks, we took another trip for the past 2 weeks on an undisclosed day.
And good thing you wore the same shirt every time.
Well, you know, I get what's in my wardrobe, which I keep in my vehicle.
Yes.
That's not a joke, actually, unfortunately.
No, it's
not. We took a trip out and saw our good friend Tyrone Johnson at Bedingfield High School, and we got a little preview of the Bruins. We'll have him coming up in just a few moments on video. Taking a look at the Bruins, Ed. Last year, I described last year for Bedingfield as a season that could have been great.
Oh, yeah.
And if we're going to do a movie title, failure to launch.
Oh, ouch. As you know, Kavaje Ellis, of course, such a dynamic quarterback, gets hurt about midway through the season, tries to play a few games, just never the same. Bedingfield season, which started out strong, beat Southern Nash week 2 of the year. Southern Nash, of course, going on to win the Big East. And then it just all kind of fell apart. They end up with not a great record. They go 1-4 in the Eastern Plains Conference last year, finished 4-7 overall, do not make the playoffs. But again, this is a team that dealt with a lot of injuries, Jimmy, and a lot of what-ifs.
Yeah, they did. I think a microcosm of their season was in that first half of the Green Central game, a game they won. I mean, they out-talented Green Central in that ball game. But Hail Mary in the first half, Javius goes up for it. Turns out ACL out for the season, and really a microcosm again of what happened.
Preseason All-State,
Yes.
Javius Nixon. I mean, you're one of the best receivers in Eastern North Carolina.
On a play, not to question the play calling, but on a play that really didn't even end up mattering.
Right, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And just again, Kavaje Ellis, that's a dynamic dual-threat quarterback, and beats you with his arm as well as his legs. They'll have to break in a new quarterback, Lamont Morgan, not really the speed guy that Kavaje was, but I went out to see Bedingfield practice on Saturday. Morgan throws a nice little tight spiral. He knows how to throw it when receivers make their break. So there's some things to work with there. He won't be the speed threat that Kavaje was by any means, but Coach Johnson definitely does have some pieces to work with his passer. And at Bedingfield, it is a quarterback-friendly offense, as we all know.
And what is a quarterback's best friend but 5 fat guys in front of him who keep other fat guys from hitting him? And that is where Tyrone Johnson has some strength.
Absolutely. He expects his line to be the strength of his football team on both sides of the ball. Tyreek Lyles, Morris Lyles, a couple of key cogs up there. Bedingfield is known for their passing offense, but if Coach Johnson wants to achieve more of a run-pass balance this year, I don't know if he'll do that, but if there's a year to do it, this will certainly be it with the strength of their offensive line. That's going to be the strength of their team again. Can they move people off the ball? Can they create the holes? And can they keep the quarterback healthy?
You know, Jimmy, we talked about the offense, such a dynamic Bedingfield offense for the recent years. What about their defense? We didn't really get a whole lot of Coach Johnson when we went out there. Do you have anything else up for us?
Well, it just, again, that remains to be seen. Like you said, the Bedingfield offense, that's what they're known for. But defensively, it's just going to come down to can they stop people. I mean, Bedingfield defensive coordinator James Ward had his guys out there on Saturday morning, just continuing the terminologies and the verbiages from spring ball. North Carolina High School Athletic Association now lets you gather your entire team for 10 days in the spring, so you can get a head start heading into the first official day of practice. They really got ahead as far as that was concerned. But again, Bedingfield, we know the offense is going to put up points. I mean, Miguel Brown on the outside, Kenny Sims, and DeMonte Cherry will be an option as well. But can that defense get stops, especially against the schedule they're going to play?
Oh, it's a tough schedule. You have on there the likes of opening the season with Goldsboro, then at Southern Nash, home for Green Central. Maybe they can get a win there. Then it's at Fike, home for Nash Central, home for Hunt to finish up the non-conference. They have the off date, then it's at North Johnston, then home for North Pitt, which could be very tough this year, at perennial favorite Washington, then home for Farmville Central, who we talked with a couple people in that 2A conference who think they might even be better this year, and then finish up the season again at Southwest Edgecombe. This is a schedule that does not let up.
No, and at a 2A program, depth can sometimes be an issue, and Coach Johnson will again have that issue at Beddingfield. I mean, the non-conference schedule they play is tough enough. I mean, they may as well be honorary members of the Big East during the non-conference schedule. But the EPC that's just another meat grinder. You get in there. I mean, you're playing tough team after tough team. Most any week. It's just can they hold up at the end, and can they be in a position to return to the playoffs? They did not make the playoffs last year, so a reasonable goal for them will be making the playoffs if they can.
Absolutely, especially after coming off an 8-5 season a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Breaking a new quarterback, it is going to be tough. Definitely going to be tough. But as we said, folks, we did have a chance to talk with Tyrone Johnson. It was warm outside when we talked to Tyrone Johnson. You'll probably tell between myself and Coach Johnson that it was not a beautiful spring afternoon. It was definitely not shot in the dead of winter.
No.
But we're going to head out right now to Beddingfield High School, where we had our opportunity to talk with head coach Tyrone Johnson. And folks, we welcome you out here at this moment to Beddingfield High School, home of the Bruins. We're with Beddingfield head coach Tyrone Johnson. Coach, guys behind us getting in a little conditioning this morning. The season's right around the corner.
It's the final day of conditioning before the real season starts. We just left the weight room. Some of the guys still in the weight room. The others out here finishing up the outside exercise. But it's that time, man. Saturday we'll be at it.
Absolutely, Coach. Taking a look at the Bruins this year, let's start with looking back at last season. You're losing some big playmakers. Kavaji Ellis. I know I touted him last year. I thought he was the best quarterback in our coverage area. You had a young man last year, preseason All-State, Javius Nixon, who you lost early in the season. Didn't really get what we hoped to see out of him his senior season. So you definitely have holes to fill, along with other players as well that you lost. You definitely have holes to fill. So what are we looking for the Bruins this year?
Well, the two guys you mentioned, also Corey Farmer was another standout player who's going to A&T to play football. He and Javius both going. Kavaji, of course, is going to Furman. But yeah, those guys would be dearly missed. Javius, we only had opportunity to enjoy Javius for one half. He got hurt the last play of the first half of the first game. So that was everything else. Javius was everything else. I mean, even after he finished playing, he could have easily been our MVP. He only played a half a game, but he was that type of guy. Kavaji picked up the slack and did everything we asked of him and more. And, you're going to miss a playmaker like Kavaji. Any play could go all the way when he was back there, either throwing the ball or running the ball. So he would be dearly missed, and I know Furman is happy to have him. And Corey was outstanding out playing our defense, and he also got hurt toward the end, middle of the season, towards the end, and so he never really came back full speed. So we were without those guys the whole year, man, basically. And our kids, the guys that we do have coming back, besides those three, believe it or not, everybody else is back. We got 8 back on offense and 8 back on defense. So, we that's a plus. That's a promising, and so we're excited about the people we have coming back, and we're excited about this upcoming season.
Coach, who are some of the playmakers whose name we're going to be seeing in the Wilson Daily that we're going to be highlighting on the All New Sports Show?
Well, Miguel Brown, of course, had a big year early in the year last year. He started double team toward the end, though. We expecting big things out of him at receiver, along with Kenneth Sims, our other receiver. DeMonte Cherry going to be special for. We got 2 running backs, Farmer, Javante Farmer, and also Keisha Lindsay. Expecting big things out of him. But most importantly, our offensive line going to carry us this year. We are really counting on those guys to do some special things for us. Man, they're going to be special. All 5 of those guys started at one time last year before my regular returning starters. So that's going to be our strength early in the season and most of the year. We're expecting big things out of that offensive defensive line.
Hey, Coach, who's going to be the man under center for you this year?
Same guy last year, Tyreek Lyles. And his big brother going to anchor both offensive defensive line. Morris Lyles, who's been super, man. He's a true captain, since word captain. He's everything to us. And he, along with his little brother Tyreek, man, we're expecting big things out of those guys this year.
Coach, taking a look at your schedule, what do you foresee with your non-conference? Of course, typically difficult conference schedule. You guys playing a really good 2A, the Eastern Plains Conference. What are we looking at non-conference and then going into conference?
Well, non-conference games, we always play the tough. We basically play the whole Big East non-conference schedule, 3A Big East Conference. We got Southern Nash, Fight Hunt, in Nash Central, along with Green Central and Goldsboro this year. Green Central is promising. Goldsboro is going to be much better this year than it was last pressure. And, of course, Fike and Hunt going to be Fike and Hunt. And then our conference schedules, what it is. Washington, Farmville, those guys, Southwest. I mean, North Pitt, they're going to be good. North Johnson, I'm sure going to be better. So it's a tough schedule. We got 11 tough football games. We can win all 11. I promise we can lose all 11. But, we're going into the season. Hopefully we're going to win all of them. And we got a chance to win all of them. But it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be tough. And that's just what we do. We just hoping we can get out of that non-conference schedule healthy. Last year we wasn't, and we paid for it when we got the conference. So this year, hopefully we can be healthy going into the non-conference schedule.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to big things from the Bruins this year. Looking forward to seeing a lot of points on the scoreboard from you guys. And definitely looking forward to see how far your team can go. Coach, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out this morning. I told you off camera, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. I don't think I can do it anymore. I'm too old and fat. So.
It's hot out here early, 9 o'clock. It's 9:50, and it's already hot like this. So we've been at it since 8 o'clock. But sorry about sweating on y'all the whole time. But, hey, it's football time, and we'll definitely be sweating a lot more come Saturday.
There you go, folks. Bedingfield Bruins, they're going to be kicking it off August 1st, just like everybody. Practice will start. Game's not too far in the future. Coach, good luck on the season. Tyrone Johnson. Folks, that will wrap up our quick preview for the Bedingfield Bruins.
Thank you.
Thanks, head coach Tyrone Johnson and the Bedingfield Bruins. All right, folks, at this point, we're going to begin our final preview of the night. All you folks who stuck it out for the Southwest Edgecombe Cougars, get ready.
Sorry.
We've got a good one coming up for you folks.
I'm sorry you had to sit through all that.
Well,
I apologize.
right, all you Southwest fans, you have to learn about Wilson. Oh, life stinks for you.
And soccer.
Be that way. And soccer. They love soccer. I brought soccer to Edgecombe County. Should have plenty of people saying it was here already, you moron, but whatever. Okay, Southwest.
10-4 last year. As you guys were talking about a little bit pre-show, really sort of clicked with that Rocky Mount win, 35-21. Had some other big wins on the season, though. Made it to the third round of the playoffs, where they unfortunately lost to Northeastern. Well, no shame in that.
Northeastern's
but
sick.
They had some big wins. Challenged for the conference. Their only loss in conference was to Washington, who just ended up going to the state finals, and that I believe was a 21-16 game
at Washington,
or 20-13 game at Washington. So very impressive season. Once it really clicked for Jonathan Kopp's men. And Jimmy, what do we see out of Southwest Edgecombe coming this year?
Well, they have running backs out the wazoo. They won't have the EPC's Offensive Player of the Year and Devontrell Hyman, but they still have plenty of guys who can carry the mail back there. You have Marcus Williams, the Duke verbal at last check, I believe, and then Keenan Williams. Those two should be primary ball carrying options. And Tucker Pridgeon, the quarterback, I mean, he can get the ball down the field a little bit. I mean, Jonathan won't ask him to throw the ball too much, but maybe it's Southwest. We throw the ball 4 or 5 times a game. That's a complete showing some days.
And Wes,
since you fixed us earlier on a Duke commit, we're going to fix you on Marcus Williams.
Yeah,
he is no longer a Duke commit. He is now an Elon commit. So, sorry, Duke fans, you don't anyway from the area anymore.
You tried, and that's what's important.
You tried, but it happens.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Do we want to just break on the show right now? Maybe the biggest signing of the summer, in a summer of signings across the world.
Free agency market. Oh, man, Central fans are going to hate me in about 2 minutes.
So are Tarboro fans in a little bit.
Dylan Hodges, who was last year our all-new Big 22 Defensive Player of the Year from Nash Central.
Would have been special teams as well.
Definitely would have been special teams as well. Has transferred to Southwest Edgecombe. He will slot in nicely wherever Jonathan Cobb decides to use his prodigious talents.
He has ideas.
He has ideas. Sophomore last season, obviously now going into his junior year, so for the next 2 years he's going to be patrolling the field at Pine Tops.
Getting out there as a linebacker in defense.
Right.
One of that stable of running backs. Also, I don't think we're spoiling anything.
Definitely playing the football.
Maybe some option quarterback.
I think you did just spoil it, but okay, thanks anyway. But obviously, folks, he's going to be a punter. He's going to be a great punter. Was fantastic last year.
Yeah.
We're talking about the 99-yard drive that Bedingfield had on Nash Central.
Yeah.
As you said, it was 99 yards because Dylan Hodges put him at the 1-yard line on a punt. So for Southwest, a nice pickup. Devontrell Hyman, last year, the all-new Big 22, Offensive Player of the Year. Very Southwest Edgecombe flavor all of a sudden for that. Had a huge season last season. He was the primary ball carrier. But, you know, as Johnny Cobb said, they do have other options. And Johnny Cobb, he seemed very optimistic. He seemed excited for this season.
Things kept falling to his lap.
Yeah, guys just kind of, oh, wow, you're big, you're strong.
Man, I really could
you're transferring in. That's
great. Really use an outside linebacker. What position do you play?
Kid transfers in. So,
perfect.
And I know you're going to be getting out to Southwest this week?
Tomorrow, actually.
Okay. So Monday trip out to Southwest. Now, defensively for the Cougars, we talked about this a little earlier with Hunt. When you're a power football team, which Southwest is, defensively, that's where you've got to be able to stack up. What do we see from Southwest?
Well, they should be led by Devontae Hyman, really a tough guy to stop on the defensive end. Other guys that could be probably coming back, Hassan Hamuel, among others.
Mm-hmm.
But I really see Devontae Hyman as really a big sack threat, a guy who can get into the backfield and cause some disruption for them. But with Southwest, it's going to be run the football, stop the run. That's really been the formula for success, not only under Jonathan Cobb, but his father and predecessor, Raymond Cobb.
And you talk about being a big-time sack guy. In some games, it's not really going to come to help. But you think about Beddingfield wants to throw the football. Farmville Central loves to throw the football. Washington's going to be looking for that balance to throw the football. Having a guy who can come off the edge like that, that's going to be big time for Southwest Edgecombe. And then, as we say, you put a guy like Dylan Hodges in that linebacking core, they're going to be hard to run on. If that secondary holds up, that's going to be a tough team to throw on. Big thing with Southwest always comes down as well to the kicking game. Now, we talked about Dylan Hodges as a punt threat. Got to find that kicking thread, and that could really turn some things for the Cougars. You know, a team that I believe 10-4 a year ago. Mm-hmm. I could see that improve to a 12-2, 13-2 type year for that group. I think they've really got something special at Southwest this year.
It's going to be a tough schedule, but I definitely think they can do it. And of course, you know, they have that rivalry game with Tarboro. Mm-hmm. That's going to be really fun this year. Southwest hasn't gotten them in a while. Maybe this is the year. Should have had them last year, maybe.
Well, just look at that schedule. Eatonton Homes to open the year at Homes. That's going to be a marker game for Southwest.
That'll be a tough one.
Because that's a team they're going to see somewhere down in the playoffs, potentially deep in the playoffs. After that, you look North Edgecombe, South Central. South Central will be fun, a 4A team. Nash Central, Bertie back on their schedule.
Yeah.
And then Tarboro. The function of the junction could be extremely interesting this year. We'll talk a little more Tarboro next week for you folks at home. They may have had their own free agent signing.
Yeah.
So, but Jimmy, anything to add on Southwest?
Well, some of the other guys I should have mentioned. Quintellis Norwood will be back. As well. Another key cog. And if you're going to talk about Southwest football, you got to talk about the offensive line. If Kevin Parker can be healthy for a full season, that'll help them as well. And then you have Britt Henry, I think, on the offensive line as well. Just a couple of key names to look out for up front. I think Parker will be kind of the constant, or kind of the glue guy up there. They really missed him when he was not in the lineup last year at times.
Yeah. All right, folks, we had the opportunity to head up to Southwest Edgecombe and sit down with Southwest head coach Jonathan Cobb. We're going to take you out to that interview right now from Southwest Edgecombe. Now from the office of Southwest Edgecombe head football coach Jonathan Cobb, taking some time out of a very busy schedule to sit down with us here on the All New Sports Show for our high school football preview. Coach Cobb, thank you so much for hanging out with us some today.
Thank you for having me.
Coach, coming into the season, man, it's been a hot summer. If nothing else, every kid around this area should be in pretty good shape by the time the season starts because they've got no excuse after this summer. How's your off-season program going?
We had a great spring and great summer here. We really have a unique core of kids who love our program and what we're doing, and they've worked mighty hard.
Coach, going into the season, you've lost a player who was actually our all-new Big 22 Offensive Player of the Year a year ago, Devontae Hyman. You got to replace a big spot in the backfield. But you see, you're smiling right now. You know, I think you're happy with your offensive personnel coming back.
Devontae is hard to replace. He was a great football player. You know, he was a load. But that said, we really are returning so much that was around him, and we've got a great nucleus of offensive and defensive players returning. and we certainly have some other guys who are very capable of toting the football. The thing we're most excited about is our offensive line.
Well, and we talk about that offensive line. That if you've got one group that you're really happy with what you've got, it's good for it to be your offensive line. Power football team like you guys, that's a great place to start to build.
That's where it all begins for us. I've always coached quarterbacks and running backs, but my primary concern as a head coach is the offensive line. We'll only be as good as they are offensively. Obviously, we're a ball control football team. We require so much out of our offensive linemen. They change our plays at the line of scrimmage depending on what the defense is doing. They not only have to be big and strong and physical and quick, they've got to be smart, and so the outlook for this year is we really think it could be one of the better offensive lines we've had recently at Southwest.
Now, Coach, taking a look at your conference slate. Let's start with the conference slate. Bedingfield, we've visited with Coach Tyrone Johnson. He's really excited about his offense coming back. You've got Washington, who a year ago played for a state championship. You got Farmville Central, who I guess, shocked some of us last year and turned into a really good football team. North Pitt's out there. You've got a good conference. That's where it's all going to begin because you got to work for that playoff seeding.
Absolutely. It starts week one and throughout a 6-game non-conference slate. Our goal is really just to get better and better each week to find our identity, to beat those other teams in our conference in terms of improvement and evolution as a football team. So that when we get to that first conference game, which is against North Pitt, game 2 against Washington, big game there, that we put the best product on the field, of ourselves, that we've matured and we're clicking as a football team.
And Coach, why don't you take us through that non-conference slate? We unfortunately we don't have any in front of us, so can you take us through your non-conference slate?
Well, week one we have a challenge. We're going to go to Edenton Holmes. They just recently hired a great football coach. His name is Paul Hoggard, coming from Richmond County back home to Edenton. Great athletes up that way. In my opinion, it's a team that potentially, if we were good enough, you could see in the 3rd, 4th round of the playoffs. So we're certainly week one going to find out how good of a football team we are. Week 2, can't take that week off. We got North Edgecombe. They return a great football team. I think we scraped away with the 22-12 victory over there last year. They are going to be a senior-heavy and fantastic football team. Week 3, let's see, we have Greenville South Central coming here. Big school, great athletes, new coach over there, and I expect that to be a great game. Week 4, we're going over to Nash Central, a little bit of change in the schedule there, and we're excited about playing somebody next door over in Nash County. I know Coach Chris Lee well. He's a great man. He's going to be a great football coach, and I'm sure he'll have them rolling by the time we play them week 4. Week 5, Bertie is coming here. We've picked that game back up. And then finally, week 6, Tarboro comes to us this year, and I expect them to have a great football team. I know they're saying they're going to have a lot of sophomores. Those sophomores are excellent football players, trust me. And Craddock, great program, great coach, and some people better look out. I know they have a tough non-conference schedule, but those other teams on that schedule better look out.
Well, Coach, we thank you so much for taking some time out with us today. Practice starting, y'all are going to kick off on Saturday the 1st.
We are, and 9:30 a.m. for all of our Southwest guys.
I might have to wave at you as I go by here in the Rocky Mountain morning. Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking some time with us, and we look forward to definitely seeing you and the Southwest Edgecombe Cougars throughout the season.
Thank you, and thank you all for what you do.
Folks, that's going to wrap up Southwest Edgecombe here on our high school football preview on the All New Sports Show. Thank you, Head Coach John McCobb, for that sit-down interview with us. And at that point, that's going to bring us to the end of Week 1 of our high school football previews.
Whoa, we almost made it through without doing anything wrong.
Wilson County and Southwest Edgecombe are in the books. Looking to next weekend. Next week's Week 2. You know we got to go big in Week 2. Tell the people where we're going.
We'll have Tarboro head coach Jeff Craddock, North Edgecombe head coach Keith Perisher, Rocky Mount Prep head coach Danny Ward, and new Rocky Mount Academy coach Terrell Hutchins. Yes.
You read your Rocky Mount record book that Charles Olson had printed and I gave you many years ago.
I don't remember getting that.
All about it. Terrell Hutchins is one of the finest players.
We'll
get to that next week. We'll get to that next week anyway. Coach Jimmy Lewis joined us tonight from the Wilson Times, and we're going to give him the chance right now to preview this week's editions of the newspaper coming out and what he's doing.
Well, this week I'll be heading out, like I said, to Southwest Edgecombe on Monday. It's out of the Nash Edgecombe Wilson area on Tuesday, but I'll be heading to North Johnson on Tuesday to preview the Panthers on Wednesday. I'll be doing the Eastern Plains Conference coaches meeting over at a Parker's Barbecue in Greenville for our preview edition.
It's a tough one, isn't it? That's a tough assignment.
It was like when we had to go to Charlotte a couple weeks ago.
So very tough assignment to interview those guys and maybe steal some sweet tea here and there from Parker's.
Yeah.
So later on in the week, got to plug these guys. Wilson City Little League has advanced to the Southeast Regionals in Warner Robins, Georgia. Their opening game will be against South Carolina on Friday. And if they can get out of here, they will be in the Little League World Series on August the 20th. So
you can see them on TV?
Yes, you can see them on the Watch ESPN app beginning on Friday.
If you ever listen to our podcast, all we do is completely diss the four-letter word.
We do. We don't appreciate the domestic comment soccer.
But no, if Wilson is on there, definitely tune in. We're not going to hate it for that. Obviously, keep your television tuned to WHIG TV.
Watch it on your phone.
There you go. Jimmy, you just didn't know.
You just don't know.
Obviously, you don't listen to the podcast. We'll talk about that off the air, Mr. Lewis. I don't blame you, though.
Podcast? Should we start putting ourselves over again, Wes?
And I believe it is time, as they say in the wrestling world, to put yourself over.
Please don't do that voice
Okay.
anymore. You can once more hit us up on Twitter at All New Sports Show. You are?
At Wes Bradshaw 21.
You are?
I'm Jimmy Lewis, WT.
There you go. I am at Edward Green. Facebook, we're All New Sports Show. Instagram, we're All New Sports Show. Periscope, we're at All New Sports Show. Email us, allnewsportsshow@gmail.com. YouTube, The All New Sports Show. It's right there on the bottom of the screen. You have to go now. And
exclusive Zlatan Ibrahimovic interview.
Yeah, you have to go now.
Journalistic integrity, 0. Totally thrown out the window.
Lastly, like Wes mentioned, do listen to our podcast provided by NGSC Sports and NGSCSports.com. You can find it on Podbean, the iTunes Music Store, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Stitcher, and the TuneIn Radio app. Everywhere you can podcast.
I get it on Podcast Republic.
Who does?
Anything else to add to this?
Nope.
All right. Folks, finish it up. He's Edward Green. He's Jimmy Lewis. He's Joffrey the Raven. I'm Wes Bradshaw. We'll see you guys back here next week for Week 2 of our high school football previews.
We'll be more prepared next time.
That's right. We'll get it all right here on the All New Sports Show, brought to you each and every week by Roger G. Taylor and Associates on WHIG TV. Good night, America.
Stay strong. Oh, stay strong, Jurgen. I still love you.
Love you, Piper.
Ah.